Wednesday morning, everyone. Today for Science with Sarah, we are at Anne Frank Inspire Academy, Northwest Military. We are going to be making tornadoes out of soda bottles with these awesome second graders. And we say, good morning, San Antonio! Stick around for a fun time.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning to you. It is Wednesday, February 28th.
Well, that's fun. We're going to look forward to seeing those tornadoes in the bottle a little later in the newscast. But first, let's check on the weather here in San Antonio.
And Justin brought it up. We've been covering the Texas Panhandle wildfires throughout our newscast today. And what did you tell me right before the newscast a little while ago, Justin?
Yeah, if you walk outside, you can smell some of that smoke. So we're getting some of the effects from that. Now, these wildfires are huge, and I do mean big. We've just got word that fire up in the Texas Panhandle, 500,000 acres, 0% contained. So all that smoke is getting blown towards our neck of the woods thanks to strong northerly winds. I want to start with temperatures because these have changed. If you were with us earlier this morning, we were near 70. Now we've dropped off into the upper 50s. That's the effect of that front. 57 in New Braunfels, 48 right now in Kerrville, and you got a stout wind, so we're talking wind chills already at this point. 67 in Pleasanton, numbers are dropping there, and the rest of South Texas will continue to see temperatures dropping. We'll kind of see the temperatures level out, maybe warm up a little bit this afternoon, but not much. So this is a very different day from yesterday. Take a look at the wind gusts, gusting to 37 here in San Antonio. We've seen some gust 40 plus. Right now it's gusting at 43 in Hondo and around Bexar County. We're seeing gusts close to 35 at Converse, 37 down there at Stinson. It is very, very windy, and it will stay that way into the early afternoon hours. So 56 noontime. Again, temperatures will warm up a little bit, but probably only around 60 or so. So a light jacket's probably a good idea today. And then down into the mid-50s tonight. There's that just a 10% chance for sprinkle, but rain's really not an issue with this front. I wanted to show you that smoke. So that wildfire up there in the Panhandle, this is the one of our computer models that shows where that smoke is headed. And you can see some of that is working towards San Antonio and especially out west towards Del Rio. So we're going to keep an eye on this, affecting air quality a little bit. And it's going to get cold by tomorrow. We're going to talk more about that forecast too, coming up here in just a couple minutes. Let's get over to RJ now. How is the morning commute wrapping up?
Yeah, Justin, so it's been a busy morning commute over the past hour or so, but we are clearing out several incidents across the city, but still some things to let you know about if you're about to hit the roads right now. Taking a look at 10 West 1604. It's been very busy. Of course, all the construction there. We're going to talk about that here in just a bit because there's going to be some more construction taking place starting there tonight. As we take a look here, we have a crash. It looks like this is starting to clear out a little bit now. This is 281 southbound at Jones-Maltzberger. Now, traffic has been backed up all the way past the San Antonio International Airport, all the way up to Isom Road as you go up on 281 right there. So 281 Jones-Maltzberger might see some delays if you're coming in from that area. Want to let you know about another crash being reported. Loop 410, kind of that east northbound lanes of Loop 410 as you go up to Culebra, up to Ingram Road. But hopefully we can get this crash cleared out here in just a bit. As far as the rest of the city, everything else is moving along pretty smoothly for the most part. We do have a stalled vehicle being reported I-10 at Fair Oaks Parkway, so keep that one in mind if you're out on the northwest side. Speaking of the northwest side, there's been a lot of ongoing construction there. Just trying to keep everyone updated with everything that's going on. I know it's a lot for our people, our drivers, and people that live on the northwest side to kind of know about. So what we do know, tonight, TxDOT will be closing the entrance ramp at Kylesville Parkway. This is going to be the entrance ramp going up to 1604 eastbound, and they're also going to close the exit ramp for Babcock Road. So the biggest things here is that 1604 will stay open, but the entrance at Kylesville and the exit at Babcock Road will be closed. Those two ramps specifically as they continue to do a lot of work there in the 1604 expansion. So this is going to happen tonight and run through this summer. So keep that in mind. We're going to have this out there for a little while. And this is especially going to affect all of our drivers and people that live around Brandeis High School and also, of course, UTSA that kind of make their way around those areas. But again, current conditions, traffic looking pretty good for the most part. We like to keep things that way. Mark and Stephanie, back to you guys.
And the wind shaking some of those TransGuide cameras. Thank you very much, RJ. Well, one fire has caused a whole lot of damage in one local neighborhood, and those strong winds have fanned the flames.
Our Katrina Weber is live on a street called West Knoll. It is near West Military and Marbuck Road. And Katrina, was anyone hurt?
Well, no major injuries due to the fire. Firefighters did tell us that they had to check out a woman who was having trouble breathing due to her asthma and all the smoke. They also say they found a pet dog dead inside one of the homes. Let me give you a look at what we have here. Quite a bit of damage. We can zoom in. You see that main house, that is where the fire started, according to firefighters, but definitely didn't stay there. It burned 3 cars in the garage and also caused some pretty significant damage to the house next door. All of this due to the strong winds that we have blowing out here. Firefighters got the call about 7:30 this morning. They say as they were coming toward this neighborhood, they could see thick black smoke coming up. They got here and tried to work on this fire as best as they could, but the winds definitely making things tough for them. They say that they also had a hard time accessing the house where it started because of all those cars in the driveway there. So they had a lot to work with, a lot of challenges as they tried to get this fire under control. Again, no serious injuries. One woman checked out for trouble breathing, and they did find a pet dog dead among the ashes there. Right now, they're just trying to make sure that this fire stays out. And they did have a word of caution for people here in the city with the winds as they are. They say definitely do not start any fires outdoors, no barbecues or anything like that, because it definitely will make their job more difficult if a fire does break out and get out of control. Reporting live on the west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina.
Here's today's 9 at 9. Wildfires have forced Governor Abbott to issue disaster declarations in more than 60 counties in the Texas Panhandle. One fire quadrupled in size in just 24 hours. Residents north of Amarillo were told to evacuate, and anyone who doesn't was told to shelter in place. The Smokehouse Creek fire has burned more than 300,000 acres of land since igniting Monday afternoon. Officials say it could take days to assess the damage.
Lawmakers might have a solution to avoid a partial government shutdown Friday, but it's not the 4 spending bills negotiators are crafting. Instead, it's another stopgap measure. The plan has 2 stages. First, the 4 government agencies that could close after Friday would get another week of funding. And then the funding deadline for everything else would be March 22nd. Today is the first day the House can vote on spending legislation.
Both President Biden and former President Donald Trump cruised to victory in the Michigan primary. Biden got at least 80% of the vote, even as he faced a protest vote for his handling of the war in Gaza. And Trump once again crushed Nikki Haley, but she's promised to stay in the race through Super Tuesday next week.
It's up to the Supreme Court now to legally define what is considered a machine gun. Today, the justices will begin hearing arguments in the case of Garland versus Cargill. Michael Cargill is the Texas gun shop owner and gun rights advocate who is suing the government over the ban on bump stocks. The devices are added to semi-automatic rifles to essentially allow them to be fired more rapidly like a machine gun. The decision in the case is expected by the end of June.
Toyota is recalling thousands of Tacoma pickups. The company says the truck's rear axle bolts can get loose and could potentially cause the axle to detach. The recall is for 2022 and 2023 model years. Owners are being advised to take their Tacomas to the nearest dealer to have the rear axle inspected. This comes on the heels of a separate Toyota matter where trucks and SUVs were recalled for moving forward while in neutral.
Macy's is downsizing and refocusing. It will close 150 underperforming stores in the next 3 years. Of the 150 stores that are closing, 50 will close this year. Meanwhile, Macy's will open more small versions of the successful Bloomingdale's and Blue Mercury stores. It's not clear how this will affect the Macy's locations here in San Antonio or if any of them will be closed.
Streaming services are seeing a slowdown. The research firm Antenna now says subscriber growth last year was just about half the year before. Netflix, Peacock, and Paramount Plus combined to drive most of the growth.
Walt Disney World is increasing ticket prices for next year. Among the increases are tickets for Animal Kingdom, which will be $119 next year, $10 more than this year. And tickets for Magic Kingdom will also be $5 more. There's also a $5 to $10 rise in many of the park hopper options.
No ticket matched all 6 numbers drawn in the Mega Millions last night, which means the estimated jackpot for Friday's drawing will surpass $600 million. Mega Millions holds the distinction of being the only lottery game to have awarded 5 different jackpots worth more than $1 billion, and all in different states: Florida, South Carolina, Maine, Illinois, and Michigan. And that's today's 9 at 9. A young mother brutally murdered in front of her children, and the fallout after the case went through the justice system. That's the basis of the most recent episode of Texas Crime Stories, out now, called Betrayed Justice. One of the hosts of Texas Crime Stories, Erica Hernandez, is joining us now to talk more about the case. Good morning, Erica.
Good morning.
Yeah, well, let's start with the case. Just a brief overview for people who haven't seen this yet.
Yeah, so Jasmine Williams, who you see here, and back in 2020 during the pandemic, was brutally murdered in front of her children in her home. When police got there, they had noticed the house had been ransacked, and her piggy bank, which was a jar of coins, her tennis shoes, and her phone were gone. Later, within weeks, they've arrested 7 co-defendants in this case. Some of them her close friends, one that she had even opened her doors to and allowed to live with her at the time. And this case just evolved. This is one of the rare cases that I've seen kind of go through from the beginning when it happened until every co-defendant went through the justice system. So we followed this case closely for years.
I was going to say that had to take some time. So, Erica, when did you first notice there were some issues with this case legally?
So in early last year, a new prosecutor took over this case, and almost immediately, a month after he took over, the person who was the shooter in this case and a friend of his who was waiting outside in the getaway car, both their capital murder charges were dismissed. And we wrote about that, and we talked about it early last year about how was this possible. Kyle Phillips, who was the shooter, does end up getting re-indicted after more of the co-defendants talk, but then we start seeing plea deals, and the evidence that we saw from the grand jury testimony was so overwhelming. There's text messages of them days before planning, like, oh, we're gonna rob her, and one of the friends is saying, oh, we're just gonna rob her, and the other friend saying, no, we have to kill her. And so you could hear the premeditation, and then there was obviously video of them coming out of the home, and so it was shocking to see that each one of those individuals got a plea deal on a lesser charge.
And Jasmine's sister, we see her older sister gave a very raw interview. Tell us a little bit about that.
I met Hannah at the courthouse, actually. She never missed a hearing for all co-7 defendants. She was there the entire time, and these girls had a very rough upbringing, and she just feels like her sister's life did not matter to the criminal justice center, and that her sister case was just brushed under the rug, and everybody got a slap on the wrist. Jasmine was shot more than 5 times in the face at close range in front of her 2 small children, and she just felt that nothing was done to help her and her sister, and so she was just kind of telling their story of their hardships, and she doesn't hold back. She is very emotional throughout, and is now, alone raising her sister's kids. And it was probably one of the most emotional interviews that I've been a part of, and Hannah was very brave to tell her story.
Tragic on so many levels.
So many levels.
So this is Texas Crime Stories podcast. You may be interested to know we actually converted a conference room in our newsroom into basically a podcast studio, right?
Yeah, and we'd kind of putting video to it. So it's not just, it's me and Lee obviously talking about the story and some of the evidence that we found that wasn't revealed before. We got to see the grand jury documents and evidence that were presented in a grand jury. So we got to put that all together, and as well in video form.
Where can we watch?
You can watch on YouTube. KSAT has its YouTube page. We have also KSAT Plus and on KSAT.com. It is out now. And wherever you hear your podcast, you can listen to it as you're driving in or going home today.
All right, Erica, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, ma'am. Right now, we are at 9:12, 58 degrees.
We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. It's 9:15. So, earlier Justin was telling Mark and I to go ahead and step outside. You could smell the smoke. You were right. I went to go grab my jacket because, of course, it got colder.
And it didn't even require a big
No.
I mean, it's right there, hits you right in the face. Yeah, and it took a while, obviously, behind that front. That's why we're smelling it now, right?
Correct. It's those north winds that are bringing it in. But I think what is really amazing to me is the size of this fire in the Texas Panhandle. I mean, it's already ranking in the top 5 largest fires acreage-wise that we've ever seen, and it's 0% contained. So let me show it to you here on the map. So it's the Smokehouse Creek fire is the one we're focusing on, and this is just northeast of Amarillo. It's now estimated at 500,000 acres. Incredible, 0% contained. Still some gusty winds up there, so they're still having issues. The fire began before that front came through. They had wind gusts 60 miles per hour. Then the front came through, and then you got those northerly winds that carried this smoke south. And so you can see the plume now stretches from Abilene, San Angelo, all the way down to San Antonio. So yes, we are seeing some of that here. And then if you're watching from out in Del Rio, you're certainly probably smelling it there too. Now, the forecast is for this smoke to kind of get pushed west and southwest. So I think we'll see a decrease in the amount of smoke in the atmosphere as we head into the head into the afternoon, I should say. And we'll see less of that. But we're still going to see gusty winds even going into, say, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's still going to be windy. It's just the smoke kind of gets out of here. So right now, we've got temperatures sitting in the upper 50s. So this is a change. Earlier this morning, if you were watching, we were near 70 at one point. But that cold front has had an impact now. 57 Seguin, 50 in Bernie, 48 right now in Kerrville. And you look at the winds, they are howling at this point, gusting to 37 at the airport, but we've seen gusts as high as 41 so far this morning, and it's gusting to 43 in Hondo, gusting to 36 in New Braunfels, and these winds are 37 in Stinson, so no matter where you go, you're dealing with gusty winds at this point. And the wind gust forecast, again, it's going to take some time for these winds to really subside, probably until the overnight and even morning hours tomorrow. And still with some decent winds tomorrow morning, we'll be talking about a wind chill on your Thursday morning, and it will feel like winter again. 56 noontime today. I think we do rebound a little bit this afternoon around 60. There is a very small chance of a sprinkle or two, but I don't anticipate any sort of significant rain with this system. And then look for temperatures to dip back down into the mid-50s tonight. Let me show you the computer model here. It does show a little bit of rain to our north, but anything we see is going to be very, very light. I just don't know that we get much around here. If we do, it'll be inconsequential. We're not going to see any rain that's going to fill up a rain gauge or anything like that. By the time we get into tomorrow, still a few sprinkles around, and then I think by Friday morning, that's when you'll start to see the skies clear, and then we'll get some warmer temperatures in here. But tomorrow morning, the wind chill, when you get those gusty winds combined with some chilly temperatures, this is what it will feel like. 41 here in San Antonio, 34 for Elks Ranch, 33 in Bernie, 37 in Seguin. So it will feel, again, a lot like winter tomorrow. And by the way, we only get up to 50 on your Thursday. That's it. 75 Friday, so we rebound quickly thanks to sun. And then by the weekend, we're back near 80s. So that's that roller coaster ride. And I think Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's more spring-like. We could see some isolated showers or maybe a storm or two. But we got to get through today and tomorrow, which it's quite a change from what we've been seeing.
With a fire that big, I mean, and these winds, there's not much they're going to be able to do, at least in the interim, right?
That's correct. And, you know, there's a lot of open land up there. So thankfully, there have been a few cities that have been evacuated, but thankfully it's mostly just open rangeland, but that makes it difficult to fight.
Yeah, a lot of crews on their way still.
Correct.
Thank you, Justin.
Yep.
919, 58 degrees.
And let's go out there with Sarah Spivey and David Sears. This morning they are at the Anne Frank Inspire Academy, and they're going to be making these bottled tornadoes. We're going to hear more about that in just a minute.
Welcome back this morning. Sarah Spivey and David Sears are out at Anne Frank Inspire Academy for Science with Sarah.
So they are hanging out with a group of second graders, and today they are making soda bottle tornadoes. Good morning, guys.
Yes, good morning. We are making soda bottle tornadoes. David, He doesn't need the safety goggles or the gloves, but he's so science. He's going to do that, and I'm proud of you, David. Way to go. Okay, today we are going to be making soda bottle tornadoes with a twist. We're going to put food dye in our soda bottles, but only one of ours is going to have soap in it, and we're going to figure out, okay, which tornado will be easier to see, the one with soap or the one without soap?
Who gets the soap? You or me?
You can pick. What would you like?
Oh, no, we'll think about it.
Okay, so the first thing to do is to get 2 soda bottles. You want to make sure all of the plastic is off of the soda bottle. So even this little guy. Now I have a little tool here. I think, there you go, David, just go for it. Maybe he did need the safety goggles after all. And then you're going to fill up one about 2/3 of the way with water. So let's do that, David. Which one do you want to be filled up with water?
I like this one.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to put about 2/3 of the way. While you're doing that, I'm going to put food dye in my water. You need food dye too, but I'll let you pick what color. And when you do this, you're only going to do a couple of drops because you still want to see the tornado. All right? Great job, David. That should be good. What color would you like in your tornado?
Do you have blue?
I have blue.
I'll take red.
Okay. There you go. A couple of drops in there. I'm also going to put a little glitter in there just so that we can see the tornado a little bit better. So I'm just putting a skosh. Did you like that word? A skosh of glitter.
How much is a skosh?
Just a bit. A little bit.
How much is a pinch? A skosh?
Yeah,
What's
about
bigger,
that.
a skosh
That's
or
good.
a pinch?
Oh, you have got gold glitter. Okay, the next thing you need is you need a tornado connector. Now these tornado connectors you can find on Amazon. They're like 10 cents each. You're going to make sure it's really screwed on tight there. I'll have my tornado connector too. Make sure it's screwed on really tight. Whoa, hey.
Oh my.
Yep, that's why you need to use a little safety, I guess. But a little water everywhere doesn't hurt anybody. Oh, the other thing you're going to do, David, is you're going to put a little, did you want soap in there? Or
Oh, yeah, no, we'll
soap?
do some soap.
Okay, put some soap
You know
in
what
there.
they say about cleanliness?
Cleanliness is next
to
to godliness. You would put a lot of soap in there.
Put a lot of soap
So
in there.
yours is going to have the
Need a lot of
soap,
cleaning.
and mine is not. You're also going to screw this on the top here,
Okay.
really good. Okay, really tight. You want to do it really tight because you don't want to do what Sarah did and spill the water everywhere.
No spillage.
Okay, so yours has soap in it. Watch this. You turn it over and you do it like that, and you can watch what happens.
It's a tornado.
Whoa! Okay, you see that? How that tornado is formed? Can you see that clearly, David? With
Yes.
the glitter kind of acting like debris.
Wow.
Okay, cool. Let's try yours with soap in it.
Soap in it. What happens with
Okay, and then go like that.
soap? Take it up a little bit.
Oh, you did not make sure yours was tight enough, did you?
It's leakage.
Okay, let's see. Here we go.
So the soap is not creating a tornado.
The soap will create a tornado.
Oh,
It's
it
just
will.
going to be a little bit more difficult to see because there's
Oh, there
more
it goes.
debris.
There it goes.
Yeah, a
There it
little bit
goes.
more difficult to see because there's more debris. And the reason I wanted to show this is whenever we have tornadoes here in San Antonio, they're usually rain wrapped. They usually have a lot of rain. They're a little bit more
So that's
difficult
rain around
to
the
see.
tornado. That's why you can't
Exactly.
see it so well.
So the best place to be is inside and away from windows. Guys, are
See
y'all
that?
ready to do
See
this
that?
experiment and
All
test
right.
out? Yeah! We will do that right when we come back from commercial break. So we gotta wait a little bit longer.
Did you bring a towel?
All right, welcome back to Science with Sarah. We're at Anne Frank Inspire Academy, Northwest Military. What are we making, guys? Tornado! Yeah, okay, so flip yours over and spin it.
Okay, did you guys have soap or not?
Not so.
No soap. So spin it around a little bit. Here we go.
I don't see any tornado.
We'll help you.
Did you have soap or no soap?
So.
Soap. So we're going
I
to
think
see here.
you put a
Keep
little
going. All
too
right,
much fruit
there it
color.
goes. Just going to turn it into a tornado. Spin it around a little bit.
There we go.
There
Look
we
at
go.
that.
There it goes. There it
Whoa!
That's just really fast.
goes. So you guys said food
so
colored
good.
tornado will be easier to see. So you don't have soap in yours. So what do you think?
That is so cool. The glitter is like.
The glitter makes it show up.
Yeah. It's
All right.
This one.
So this was no soap, right?
Yep.
Okay, would you guys like to try your tornadoes?
Yeah.
Okay, flip it over and spin it.
Flip it over. Soap or no soap?
No soap.
No soap.
Whoa!
Oh, look at that. Wow.
It's forming. Whoa, I love love that you guys can see. We have soap in here, right?
Yeah.
But can you see how the glitter is going
What did you
around?
say? Food coloring and soap, or food coloring by itself?
By itself.
By itself? That's what y'all decided?
Yeah.
So why do you think the food coloring is easier to see without the soap?
Because there's like less stuff to block it. You know, like soap causes bubbles, and the bubbles just block it.
Yeah, see, theirs isn't quite as fast as yours, so they had soap in there.
Okay.
But they got some nice bubbles in there, though, don't they? What do you think about your bubbles?
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Whoa.
Soap or no soap?
No soap.
No soap, and look at your tornado.
Before it was always leaking, and now it's not.
Soap or no soap?
Soap.
Soap. You had soap, so it's going to be a little more difficult to see, right? Well,
Yeah.
that looks like a root beer float you got going there, to be honest with you.
Look at yours.
I'm guessing that you did not have soap in yours.
Yeah, we didn't.
You had soap in yours?
No.
No,
They
you did not have soap in yours. They had soap in yours. So what's the difference?
I don't know.
Whoa. Look at the
You can
top
see
of this
yours
one.
better than you can see theirs, right? But you can see. Look at the sparkle. Wow.
Yeah.
So, soap or no soap? You didn't have soap in yours? No. And it went fast, didn't it? Did you spin it fast? Pretty good experiment, huh? You could actually do it again.
Hey, look at that. Keep on doing it. Okay.
So that's the soapy one. This is the non-soapy one. You know how I know? How do you know this is the soapy one? Other than the fact that you put soap in it.
Because it has.
Whoa. Look at all the bubbles coming down into the
Did
soap.
you guys do yours already? Did you do it already? Go ahead. Turn it over. Turn it over. Spin it around a little bit. Off we go.
Whoa, look
Look at that. Hold it right there. Hold on to it so it doesn't fall over.
Ready?
Look at that tornado.
Whoa.
That cool.
Here we go.
We added soap.
Wow. And what's great
So
about
what's
this
the difference between the soap and the no soap?
I feel like what I've been looking at other people's with the soap, and I feel like there's bubbles coming out of like the top one, like, but I don't know why that's not happening with ours.
You don't know what's not what?
Happening with ours.
Because this is yours. Yeah, you don't have as many bubbles. There's a lot of soap in there. All right, one more time.
All right. What's great about this experiment
All right,
is
hold
you
on
can
to it.
flip it back and forth
Hold on to it.
over and over again until it starts leaking beyond.
Hold on to it. Grab the bait. There you go. Well, you got a little leakage going there. We'll wipe that up.
All right. If you can
Look
hear
at
my
everything.
voice, clap once.
Look at that.
How fun was this experiment, guys? So much fun, right? So was your hypothesis right or wrong? Is it okay if it was wrong? Yeah, but wasn't this fun? Okay, everybody, go ahead and wave to your parents back at home. Check out more Science with Sarah on KSAT.com.
Another great one. Love that experiment.
That was super cool. See it in action.
Yep.
We like all the colors, but the light colors were our favorite.
Indeed. All right, Sarah, David, thank you guys. Outside with live cam. Yeah, if you're on the west side, you may have spelled a house fire earlier today where Katrina was live. But for the rest of us, you're spelling those big fires in other parts of the state.
Yeah, we still have some of that smoke that's coming in. If you walk outside, you can just kind of get a whiff of it, and that's going to be around for at least kind of the first half of the day. I think the smoke will dissipate a little bit, but those winds are going to stay gusty. I want to show you the temperatures. This is what's affecting us now is this cool down. 57 here in San Antonio right now, 48 in Kerrville, 46 in Rock Springs. Overnight, we were in the 60s and 70s, so this is a legit cold front and some good changes today. It's going to be jacket weather for the next couple of days. Pollen count is in. Mulberry jumps to the top of the list. It's at 420. Ash is still moderate. Molds, hackberry, and elm all there, but they're low. And of course, again, we have some of that smoke in the atmosphere too, which can bug folks with asthma. It can make your eyes kind of red and itchy too. Red flag warning is in effect for folks to our south. That includes Cotulla and Beeville. Gusty winds, dry air, There is a fire threat to our south. I don't know that we have just a huge fire threat here, but it is something we want to watch with these kind of winds. 56 noontime. We will rebound a little bit this afternoon to around 60 or so. Small chance of a sprinkle. And yes, those winds are going to stay right in that 30 to 40 mile per hour range when we're talking about the gusts. Winds will eventually subside as we get into tonight and tomorrow. More on that forecast and the wind chills tomorrow morning coming up in just a couple minutes. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. Well, San Antonio Spurs are headed home after wrapping up the rodeo road trip.
The silver and black went, do I have to say this? I mean, I know I'm used to reading stuff off the prompter. 1-8. 1-8 on this year's road trip, and now they have lost 12 of 13, and RJ is back to talk sports.
Yeah, I see why David wanted to hang out at Sarah's.
He's like, I'll be with Sarah.
He doesn't want to talk about
Smartest
Spurs.
guy in the room.
He'd rather have more fun. Those kids look like they're having a great time. All right, maybe not great times watching the San Antonio Spurs, but there was one thing, guys. This is going to be my mantra throughout the rest of this season. We got about 20-something games left. I'm just going to enjoy Wemby. I'm just going to be on Wemby watch and just kind of see the amazing, wild things that Wemby does, because there were a few moments in yesterday's game, despite the Spurs loss. Let's show you real quick here. We were talking about this highlight earlier, Mark, and here we go. We got Wemby dribbling the ball up the court. This was after he blocked. He goes behind the back, goes off the back. Okay. Still.
Almost.
That was a jaw-dropping. Check this out. I mean, 7'4", goes behind his back.
Right.
Throws the ball off the backboard. Could have actually scored there. You even see, look, the guys on the bench are just kind of like, wow, this guy's just doing some amazing stuff. He crosses over. Kyle Anderson here, steps back, takes a three. Boom, splash. I mean, look, at this point now, again, I'm just enjoying Victor Wembanyama for what it is. But you know what? He did look like a rookie last night. He looked like, hey, what is this rodeo road trip that people have been talking about? We've been on the road for an entire month. Yeah, he looked like he did struggle a little bit. Still scored 17 points, 13 rebounds, still had 5 assists. 4 blocks, and he actually played the most minutes that he's played in a while. Some other takeaways from this game, of course, the Spurs do lose to the Timberwolves here. Timberwolves leading the Western Conference right now. Pop is a little bit on a benching spree here. He benched Jeremy Sohan early in the third quarter of last night's game. Did not get Jeremy Sohan back on the court, and this comes a day after he had benched Keldon Johnson. Now, Keldon did respond, scored 20 points, but again, Jeremy Sohan got benched, and he only has 1 point in 2 games. The biggest other thing here, turnovers. 23 turnovers yesterday, 30 points off of those turnovers. Here's Coach Greg Popovich.
Well, you can't win games when you give up 30 points off turnovers. That's the bottom line. And every time we've done that this year, we've gotten our butts kicked. So that happened again tonight. You know, everything else is pretty irrelevant. Last game we gave up 34 points off turnovers. So that's the deal.
All right, guys, that was his entire post-game press conference.
I was going to say, you had to slow the video down before he ran out of there.
He was already on the charter plane back to San Antonio by the time that press conference wrapped up there. Obviously, look, it's been a rough rodeo road trip. Spurs are back at home. They're going to need that home crowd, that home cooking, because they're taking on a very good Oklahoma City Thunder team tied with Minnesota for #1 in the West. And again, they're going to play the Pacers there. So a couple of games back home at the Frost Bank Center. And again, I'm just on Wemby watch right now. He's 3 games into the season. We've been saying he needs to get about 70 to sort of solidify that Rookie of the Year award for the NBA. And so hopefully we get that. So just, I mean, he does some stuff on the court that's pretty amazing every night.
Absolutely. As we wrap up, RJ, a quick tangent. There's that Formula One series on Netflix called Drive to Survive. New season came out last week, and talk about a fridge connection. Alpine driver Pierre Gasly was in San Antonio earlier in the Spurs season.
That's right.
To hook up with Tony Parker at the game and watch Wemby in action. Very cool to see on Netflix.
That's right. Is that when they were here in Austin? I think that's when they did.
Maybe it was in Austin.
I think that's kind of why he came down there. They posted a lot of cool videos and so obviously photos as well, and obviously Wemby, he's global, he's international.
He is global.
Yeah, he's fun to watch too. So
very cool.
Enjoy Wemby.
Thank you, RJ.
Thanks, guys.
9:41, 57 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Well, sharing your life on social media used to be just for friends and family, but now it has turned into a career for some. When we come back, how content creators are becoming the new small business owners.
9:44, being a content creator is something we're hearing more and more about, and something a lot of people are turning into a career.
So So some are even calling content creators the new small business owners, but it's not as simple as it may seem.
It's not just wake up, record your video, post your video, and you're going to automatically go viral. You know, there's brain power that goes into it. You need to financially be into it.
Leah Philpott is one of the millions turning social media into a career. And after just 1 year on TikTok, she has nearly 700,000 followers sharing her recipes and real life experiences as a stay-at-home mom.
Well, according to Goldman Sachs, the creator economy is expected to double in size from $250 billion to $480 billion by 2027.
Small business economy and the creator economy are intersecting as never before. Creators will either have content as their product, right? And so they are a business where their content is monetized through brand partnerships, through advertising, or small businesses now are becoming content creators.
What do you say to people who say this isn't a real job, this isn't a real profession?
I think it's definitely not true because I've had plenty of jobs in my life, and this job is like basically bringing me financial freedom.
So it seems once started as a way to share thoughts, daily activities, and more with our friends has now evolved into something more profitable.
That also led to the question, so what's the difference between a content creator and an influencer? So according to Grin, which is a creator management platform, influencers are a type of creator, but not all creators are influencers.
What?
So, okay, here you go, Justin. So the key difference between the two is purpose. So the ultimate goal of creators is to connect and engage people with similar goals, values, and lifestyles. And influencers, while influencers do those same things, while also prioritizing their brand partnerships and leverage online communities to persuade people to buy things. So the two words are not interchangeable.
Huh?
Okay, so I'm guessing if you're a content creator, like sharing goals, like people who like post stuff about like running or you know, or cooking or something like that.
Here's another way to look at it. I think content creators hope to be influencers.
Maybe, yes.
You know, my only thing is I can't tell when someone's just like I'm just watching something or they're actually trying to sell me something. Like I can't tell the difference now. It's all kind of
I get it.
all in the same thing.
You know, just trial and error.
I am not an influencer.
Yeah, our
but I'm
producer
working on
said that Justin is more of a content creator.
Yes.
Yes.
And we follow you.
We do.
Because we listen to you and we both brought our jackets today.
Yes.
Are you on TikTok yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Instagram.
I'm not even.
Instagram, I am. Yes, I am on Instagram. And you know, we've been posting a lot about this cold front that's coming through. It has made a big difference this morning. If you've stepped outside, it is quite a bit colder. We'll go live for you outside, and you can see it's 57. So we started off this morning 60s, close to 70, and the temperatures have steadily fallen. Now, I think they'll kind of level off and then maybe build back a little bit this afternoon, but don't expect it to get warm. We're going to be about 20 degrees cooler than we were yesterday. So this front means business. Northerly winds at 25 miles per hour, gusting to 37 at this point. And we've got some high clouds. Not cloudy per se, but we'll see more clouds and sun for sure. Here's a look at the futurecast wind gusts. I think as we head towards midday, you're still looking at gusts 35 to 40 miles per hour. And then by this evening, this is 5 o'clock, gusts are starting to come down some, but it's still windy, still breezy. And even tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., we're still getting gusts 20 to 25. And you combine that with the cold air that will be moving in, and this is what it will feel like tomorrow morning. So maybe you didn't take your jacket with you today. I can promise you tomorrow you will want it. It'll feel like it's 34 in Fair Oaks Ranch at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, 34 Canyon Lake, 39 in Floresville. It'll feel like 40 down in Pearsall. So chilly no matter where you go. These are the current temperatures, 55 Helotes, 57 Rio Medina. We have now dipped into the 40s in Kerrville, so what a change there, 48 degrees. Los Maples at 46. Considering we've been in the 80s to near 90, yeah, this is kind of a shock to the system. 54 LaGrange, 54 Gonzales. You can see where that front is. Still some 70s on the map, but that will soon change as this cooler air works south. And we've been talking about that smoke, too, that's mixed in with all of this. So just a sort of an interesting weather setup. Noontime today, 56, 60 by 4 o'clock. Mostly cloudy. There is an outside chance for a sprinkle or two, but any sort of rain is going to be insignificant. It will not have any real impact on us. 55, 8 p.m. and then we'll dip into the 40s tonight. Speaking of the clouds and rain, the computer models do show some rain to our north and maybe a sprinkle or two, not only this evening and tonight, but into the day tomorrow. It's not going to add up to much of anything at all. And so, again, the impacts will be minimal. I will tell you, by the time we get into Friday, that clearing line will push east. We'll get the sun to come back out on Friday, and we'll be up around 75. But tomorrow, only 50. That's because the clouds stick around. And with that cooler air, it's just not going to warm up. 79 Saturday, 78 Sunday. I do think we will add in some rain chances Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Not big chances, but maybe some isolated stuff here and there. It's going to feel more like spring as we officially go into March, but not the next couple of days. Today and tomorrow, going back to winter a little bit.
Yeah, but we can handle it. It's not cold. Like we've experienced before, but just the difference.
It's not. I think a lot of people actually kind of enjoy this weather, at least for a couple days.
Yeah. I like this roller coaster ride that we're on.
It's keeping us busy.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thanks, Justin.
10 till 10, 57 degrees.
Well, let's go outside and see how our friends at the zoo are handling the weather change. Wow, they're in the water, even though it's a little cooler this morning. You can see people already there behind that flamingo exhibit. It is a nice day to go to the zoo. Just take a jacket, though. Welcome back. It's 9:54. So as we get close to a new month, new movies are coming to a theater near you.
CNN's Rick Damagella gives us a preview of some of the big movies premiering in March.
Your blood comes from dukes and great houses. Here, we're equal. What we do for the benefit of all.
Denis Villeneuve's sci-fi saga continues in Dune Part 2, adapted from the Frank Herbert novel. The sandworms of Arrakis emerge Friday, March 1st.
What is this place?
The best crooks and criminals live here.
You're a wanted criminal?
You sound surprised. Is it surprising?
The Dragon Warrior is back in Kung Fu Panda 4 as Poe and his team take on a shape-shifting sorceress. The animated adventure arrives in theaters March 8th.
An extraordinary story about a young man who many years ago visited Prague. What he found there were thousands of refugees at the mercy of Hitler's imminent invasion.
Sir Anthony Hopkins portrays Nicholas Winton in One Life. Based on the true story of the Kindertransport during World War II, the film opens in limited release March 15th. When New York City freezes over in July, who you gonna call? The paranormal investigators and eliminators are ready to believe you when Ghostbusters Frozen Empire chills theaters March 22nd.
Kong, Godzilla, they can feel it too. Something is coming. Something even they're afraid of.
From a frozen empire to a new empire, March ends with a roar. Two absolutely huge movie stars team up to take on a new rival in Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. The kaiju invade theaters March 29th. Thankful for reserved seating in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
And Steph, you're right. Dune 2 comes out Friday.
Yeah, and the reviews are good, you said.
They're fantastic so far.
Can't wait.
I know, me too. Have a great day, guys.